and welcome back. This is Orange Hedgehog 2012, and today in this video I'm going to be doing a plush unboxing of the Sonic Adventure E-102 Gamma plush from Japan. So without further ado guys, let's get stuck in. To finally open this package. It's been an absolute nightmare, but yeah, I won't bore you with all that story guys, but let's open this box. Okay, so the package is open. Let's see what we have. This has been a grail of mine for so many years. Trying to get hold of this was pretty much impossible, and I thought I'd never get hold of one. We've got some bubble wrap, really nicely packaged as well. So that's the box. Okay, you can open this without using the scissors. I think I might need the scissors. So I ordered this from a proxy service from Japan. I'll leave all the info in the description. Highly recommend them. And I got this for much cheaper than what it was going for on eBay. The only unfortunate thing is I had to pay a massive customs fee charge, which I was really bummed about, but I still got it cheaper. So it's just one of them things when you're buying from the UK, unfortunately. Now this one I got is actually in better condition compared to the original one I got, which unfortunately was sent back. So even though it was a bit of a hassle trying to get this guy, it worked out in the end. And I'm actually quite surprised at how small he is. For some reason I thought he'd be quite a large plush, but he's actually quite small. He's probably maybe about, I'd probably say about over 16 inches in height, maybe just under 20. Right, so let's have a look. Very nicely packaged. But this plush, unfortunately, has suffered a lot of wear and tear because of the material that he's made from. As you can see, the Sonic Adventure 2 E-102 Gamma plush from 2000. And as you can see, these sections here that are sort of yellowed, these would originally have been silver. And what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and clean him, but not in the conventional way like I do with all my plushies. Oh my days. He is so fragile, it's unbelievable. He's even more fragile than my Sonic the Fighters plush. So I'm going to get this guy in a position that I can handle him, and we'll take it from there. Impressions. Well, I must say I am actually quite surprised, because originally over the years I thought this was going to be quite a large plush, but it's actually probably around about the same size, around about 16 inches. So for the Shadow and Rouge, they're both around about 16 inches in height. I will be measuring this guy up at the end of the video, but my first impressions on this plush is he is extremely delicate. I knew that was going to be a problem. Very similar to my Sonic the Fighters, my Metal Sonic. Now, when I got him, he was very sticky, tacky. Even just holding him, the actual vinyl was coming off on my fingers. And this is a very similar situation with Gamma. I had to go and wash my hands prior to resuming the video. The vinyl, as you can imagine, this was released back in 2000, so it's over 20 years old. and the vinyl itself is very like dry, brittle, as you can see from the video, with the black, the red, the yellow and the white. It's almost like the vinyl itself has become a bit sort of like bubbly, where it's sort of like there are parts where you can see where it's split. Yeah, the vinyl they used was not fantastic at all. The reds, some parts like the yellow, the red and the white is not too bad. It's just the parts of the grey, and obviously where you'll see in a moment some parts of the body are like a yellow, almost like tobacco stained sort of colour. That's where originally the silver vinyl would have been. For the adventure plushies, the vinyl they used was not fantastic quality, and it did not stand the test of time because, as you will probably see, if you do have the Sonic Adventure like Sonic, Tails and Knuckles in your collection, the soles of the shoes, the grey, you know, it'll be extremely rare to find one in sort of like pristine condition, because the vinyl just completely disintegrates, it cracks, it peels, it's horrible. And with Gamma here, you know, he is no different. What I do plan to do, I'm going to have to do some research on this, is to find a way. I do want to clean him, but obviously not in the conventional style that I normally do my restoration videos. I want to use sort of like a mild, I was thinking maybe of like using a spray bottle with some mild sort of liquid soap, and maybe using a cloth that way. But at the same time, I don't want to damage the vinyl. I don't want it to sort of come off and stuff. So I'm going to have to do my research on that. But once I got him out of the box, I noticed that he had a very strong smell of like smoke, tobacco possibly, or that sort of musty smell where he's been stored for a really long time. So I plan to obviously sort that out, just give him like an airing, hopefully for the smell to sort of like disappear. I'm going to be displaying him on my shelf along with Rouge and Shadow, but I'm so glad and grateful to have him in my collection. So the review itself, so we're starting from the top of his head and obviously moving down to his body. So from the top of his head, as you can see, he does have, like from his design, he has sort of like a yellow top to his head. The yellow itself, yeah, the whole body is pretty much made up of like vinyl. There is one section where it's made from felt, and that's sort of quite awkward to display because obviously felt can bend and crease and sort of like still retain that creased sort of shape. So yeah, unless you're willing to pay a hefty amount for these plushes, be prepared that these are going to be quite difficult to sort of maintain. So yeah, obviously these plushies weren't kept in fantastic environmental conditions, like humidity, dampness can obviously add to its deterioration, and obviously the material they used over time and whatnot, and the age. You can pretty much guess the condition that these plushies obviously come. So yeah, starting from the top, as you can see, the yellow sections here, we've got the black here. As you can see, the green is actually sort of, the eyes they've used are very light. With the other ones, they were quite sort of really nice quality, quite nice and thick. What they've used for Gamma is just very sort of cheap, light green sort of buttons, really. The white section is made from, it's not plastic, it's just like fabric that they've used. And but I'm looking forward to actually polishing them up. But as you can see here, the actual white to his sort of front chest, his front plate, is made from like white, but the actual white itself is a very sort of like sort of very dreary, not as sort of like bright as you can imagine when this was like brand spanking new. Around about, I like to call it his belt. Not entirely sure what the actual proper pronunciation for him. I'll probably put like an annotation on screen. But as you can see, the yellows sort of run the band here, around here, and also around there. That's originally where the vinyl would have been. But it's nice to actually see the actual sort of navy blue and the white stripes sort of still intact. Not in fantastic condition, but a lot better condition than compared to other Gamma plushes that I've seen. We have this sort of, I like to call it the flappy flap sort of plate. I'm not really entirely familiar with Gamma's sort of character, other than the fact that he was a character in Sonic Adventure. But as you can see there, his hand and the actual yellow parts there is some what looks to be like staining. I don't know if maybe at one point he was covered in almost like mold. I don't know, it could be sort of like water stain and stuff, but maybe I might be able to get that out in the future when I sort of give him a nice good clean up and stuff. I'll probably make a video on that in the future, but I don't know exactly when. But as you can see, moving down from his arm, the actual red and yellow vinyl is actually quite nice to see that still intact. You've got his feet. You've got this really nice sort of bright lime green for his sort of where his toes are. The black itself, it's very sort of like, I don't think originally it would have been like a shiny sort of colour. I think originally just like the actual silver vinyl would have been the most sort of shiny part of the actual plush. But if I just lift him up and just show you underneath as well, as you can see, there's sort of like staining marks here and there. I've had to prop him up on behind a Pringles can because he's very difficult to actually properly sort of sit up. His gun, now it's actually nice that the vinyl has actually stayed intact. The gun is actually made from the same sort of vinyl material, but obviously in black. As you can see, that part would have been vinyl. Just lift him up, you can probably see there. Now the actual, I don't know if you call this the handle, is made from felt. And as you can see, this originally would have come in two sections and I assume sort of glued together. As you can see, it's very much split. Now this is originally where the actual paper tag would have been, right there where that hole is. Yeah, and as you can see, it pretty much does not want to stay in place. It's very much sort of creased, but you get an idea of the sort of shape that he originally would have been. And the actual flappy flap, it would have been silver, both the front and back. But yeah, that's the front of the plush. So let's have a look on the back. You can actually see some detail. So these parts here, they look to be like possibly grey. Now originally he would have come with a gold hang string. As you can see, the holes there. So at some point this maybe would have been hung up and maybe it's snapped off, or the original owner just like cut it off really. This part here, now on my one, as you can see, it's made from very thin material. Originally it looks like it was stuck down, but as you can see, the glue has deteriorated over time. It's become very sort of loose, but it's made from a really sort of thin material. But actually, to feel him, he's very rough to the touch. He's not very smooth at all, which is a sort of maybe plan to sort of try and get him in a state where he's not crumbling like the vinyl. But as you can see, his shoulders there in black. Moving down here, the actual stuffing as well is quite nice. It's not stuffed, so he's basically like stiff. He has got some flexibility the way he's been stuffed. As you can see, the parts where he would have been silver, you've got obviously the red. This band around here, this section is like a navy blue sort of colour. And you've got sort of like his, I don't know if these are his like tanks, as you can see there. On my one, obviously where he's sort of like stayed in a position, the vinyl has sort of like come off on the actual body. So if I show you, can probably see just there and there are sort of spots here and there. You can see a tiny bit of remnants of the actual vinyl, the silver vinyl and stuff, which is quite nice. I do have some images sort of saved up on the original Gamma and how he would have looked, like the colours and the actual vinyl and stuff. So yeah, this part here you can see is black. Fragile. I mean, on my fingers there are sort of specks of vinyl, and he feels a very like not sticky but like sort of tacky, and it's not fantastic. So the back of his hand, as you can see, all of this would have been like silver vinyl. To the back of his gun, you can see where he still does have like some grey parts, but on the bottom it's coming away and stuff. You can just about sort of see there. But a look of the actual gun, you can see the actual layer underneath is black, so they used a very sort of thin layer of sort of grey vinyl, but it's actually really cool. I mean, the character for Gamma made into a plush, this was the first ever sort of like piece of merchandise that was made, because obviously the other characters like Sonic, Rouge, Tails, Knuckles and stuff were very common, but actually taking like a character like Gamma and making it into a plush was a first for the Sonic franchise. And they have since released there was a GE Gamma plush that I did actually buy, and I'm going to actually show you later on in the video, sort of like a side-by-side comparison. But with this one, there are some features that they didn't add from his original design. So the back of his legs and stuff, you can see his feet. You might be able to see the actual sort of condition stuff. And yeah, I'm going to show you up next the touch tag. Touch tag, I thought I'd show you sort of like a side view. The actual decal they used for the E-102. You can see what I meant about the actual material, the vinyl and stuff. This touch tag still intact. 1998, and here my boyfriend. I'd like to flip the tag. There we go. We've got the Sega logo and the year 2000. It's a bit difficult to actually show you. Up there, the actual date and stuff. Just trying to see if the camera will actually focus on that. There we go. That's much better. Made in China.
Not another speeding ticket. I'll fight it in court, but I don't think they're gonna accept gotta go fast as a medical condition. Here we go! Super Sonic style! Bam! Got nothing on me! Speed time! Sonic speed! Nice! Can't slow Sonic down better than a bouncy house! Not sure I can carry all these rings. It's like they're drawn to me. It's like they're made for me. Love it! Sweet! Just what I need! Never grab too many rings. Sonic, don't lose! You don't move? I'll move you! I'm way in the back and need backup! That's why! I gotta go fast! 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 Gotta go fast!
On the left we have the GE E-102 Gamma. He measures at around about 12 inches in height, and we've measured this guy up, the Sonic Adventure Japanese E-102 Gamma plush from 2000, and he measures 20 inches in height, so he's a lot bigger. But as you can see here, the way that the models vary, and it's actually quite nice to have sort of two variations of this character. You can see there on the left he has like a little I don't know exactly what it is. If you do know, leave a comment down below. But as you can see, there are parts where they haven't actually sort of left, you know, bits and bobs out, but particularly between his eyes and stuff. And but it's actually really nice. G has done a fantastic job. It's a lot cheaper. I mean, if you do want this character, this is a much cheaper alternative. So I paid about £50 for mine because I imported mine from Amazon US and stuff. And obviously this guy was a lot more because obviously he's a rare plush, and I'm really glad to have him in my collection. That's been my unboxing and review on the 2000 Japanese Sonic Adventure E-102 Gamma Plush from Orange Hedgehog 2012. In the future, I don't know when, I will be doing sort of like a little restoration, but I can't guarantee as to when that's going to happen. But obviously I'll keep you guys informed. If you want to check out more images on Gamma, then you can check him out on my Instagram. I'm also on other social medias. All the information will be down below. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and take care, and I will see you in the future. Take care, guys, and thank you for watching.